this is Sue here, and I'm here with Brewongle at our river block with the beautiful river behind us, which is the Hawkesbury River, but it's also known as Dyarrubin in the local Darug language. Today we're going to learn a little bit how to paddle. When you have a paddle for kayaking, you have got a curve with your paddle, and the curve should be facing towards you. So I'm actually going to hold my paddle with the curve facing towards me. Can you see that there? The curve. You put your hands in almost straight line with your shoulders, and you can see there's some black bits here, and I've got my hands just on the edge of the black bits, just nice and comfortable apart. Because if you put them too far apart, you get a bit too awkward, and if you put them together, you get really awkward. It's very hard to paddle like that. So just nice and neat apart like that. And when you're paddling, you put the tip in, right, you stretch forward, put the tip right near the front of the boat, and you pull it back to your hip. And we like to say, tip to hip. Now when you're paddling like that, you might notice that when the paddle goes in the water, it should be going in with this bit, and the water is here. So it's called perpendicular to the water. So it goes in perpendicular. And then you reach forward with the other hand. Oh, this one isn't perpendicular. We actually need to turn it with our hand, just gently, so it is perpendicular, so it hits the water like that. And we put it in at the tip and bring it back to our hips. So that's paddling forward. But what happens if you want to go backwards? You need to get your paddle. You don't need to turn it around so that it's facing that way. You just need to keep it this way and put it over behind your back next to the boat and push forward and back and push forward. And that is how you go backwards. It'll get you out of some sticky situations if you get stuck in some reeds or a tree right near the edge of the water, because you do want to go backwards sometimes. And sometimes you want to stop. And the best way to stop is just to put your paddle in and hold it. Not too far, not like that. Just in the water and hold it, and it will get you to stop. It's always safety first when we're kayaking down on the river here. And you can see the river's over here. We actually kayak on this side of the river. We kayak close to the edge. We don't go out in the middle because it's much safer closer to the edge. Occasionally we might have somebody using a boat on the river and we want to stay out of their way, and we all stay together. We don't get too far apart. There's always one kayak leader at the front, myself or one of the other teachers, and another kayak leader at the back, so that we all stay together. And that helps us be safe as well. Now occasionally, very occasionally, someone falls in, and we have lots and lots of safety around that. When we have someone fall in, we ask you not to try and tip your boat over. Can you see the boat over here? That boat, when it turns over, it acts like a big scoop if you try and turn it over yourself. So what we ask is that you stay with your kayak. You will have a nice safety jacket, life jacket on, which we'll show you about in a bit. And we also get you just to hold onto the boat, so that's extra flotation for you. We say don't worry about the paddle, because we can always find the paddle separately. So if you fall in, you'll fall in and you'll come back up to the surface, because the life jacket will bring you up to the surface, and one of the kayak instructors will come over. We will lift the boat out of the water to help the water drain out of it, turn it over, and then we will get you into the kayak. We'll show you that later too. So when we're out on the river, we have a few safety instructions as well, which is if you hear this whistle, it means come in. Or sometimes we might hold the paddle up, and that means come together as well. So with the whistle or the paddle, or even it might be one of us saying come on over here, it means all come together. And that's for safety, when we need to fix someone up who might have fallen in the water.
Okay, so we're going to be putting your life jackets on. When you come down to the river, we talk about safety, and we talk about how important it is that you listen to the teachers and all the instructions that you're being given. But one of the most important things is that you have your life jacket or your personal flotation device fitted correctly. Now when this is on, you're going to float no matter what. So if you accidentally fall in, this life jacket or personal flotation device is going to keep you above the water. Even if you're not a confident swimmer, it will keep you above the water. It's going to keep your head above water and probably your upper body above water as well. And you'll kind of just bob along a little bit like a cork in the water. So what I've asked Daniel and Ben to do is to go and choose a life jacket, and they've come back to me to show me. I'm just having a look at these, and I'm looking at Ben's thinking it might be a little bit big. So if I go to do Ben's up, I can see that's actually really, really big on Ben. I'm not going to be able to get that done up tight enough to stop that going up above his ears when he gets into the water. So I might ask Daniel and Ben to swap life jackets because Daniel's was probably a little bit too small. And boys, can you do up those buckles for me? So you're going to do up those clips, and this will be your job as well when you come down to the river to kayak. You're going to do up your own clips, but then you're going to come to us, or we'll go to you, and we'll make sure that those life jackets are fitted really, really well. So well done, Ben. So I'm going to test that. How's it feel?
Alright.
All right, pretty good. I'm going to pull that up. I can see that's not going up above Ben's ears, but I'm just going to double check that I can't pull these any tighter. And it really should be almost like you can't breathe, like, oh gosh, that feels tight. But you do get used to that feeling of tightness. And what it means is, and actually that's just a little bit twisted there, so I'm going to undo that and flip that over. And I'm going to pull that just a little bit tighter. And let's have another check now. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm really happy that Ben's life jacket or personal flotation device is not going to come off when he's in the water. So Ben, I'm going to get you to maybe come over this side for me. I'm going to check Daniel's now. So Daniel's is crossed over a little bit, actually looking a little bit loose there. I'm going to see if I can tighten that for Daniel, and if not, I might even get him to try it. Oh, I'm glad I checked that one because that's popped open. And another big pull. Let's check that. That's looking great. So that's not going to come up above Daniel's ears if he was to fall into the water.
So here we are down right at the water's edge with Daniel, and Daniel's going to get into the boat for us. He's going to show us how to get in. So Daniel, what I want you to do is to put your feet into this section here. Keep your bottom low so that you don't rock the boat too much. Put your hands on the side here and then get yourself comfortable in the seat. Excellent, we're all seated. Now I'm going to give this to Daniel, and we've got the words. It says on this one, it actually says banjo. There's other words on different paddles that we have here, but the words are going to be facing Daniel, and he's going to hold that, and I'm going to get behind him and swing his boat round into the water, and we're going to show you how we get you onto the water. So Daniel doesn't have to do anything except sit for the moment, and it's a little bit muddy here at the moment. And there you go, Daniel, you're on the water. Excellent.